Okay, let's just dive right in. If you are tracking the multiverse saga, you know the MCU schedule has felt, well, like trying to navigate a dense, constantly shifting map.
Depending a lot, for sure.
So today, we are giving you the shortcut. Our mission here is to really analyze this shockingly dense 2026 mega slate, because this feels like the year the multiverse saga stops, meandering and just starts its aggressive sprint to the finish line.
That's absolutely right. The 2026 schedule, when you really look at the sources, isn't just a list of titles. It's a deliberate reveal of Marvel's whole Phase 6 strategy.
The strategy, how so? Well, you can see a clear two-pronged approach. On the one hand, you have this foundational stabilization happening on the small screen.
Okay.
And then paired with that, you have this massive crisis consolidation on the big screen. They're making sure the entire universe feels structurally sound before, the ultimate multiversal collapse.
And it's crucial to point out this huge 2026 calendar doesn't just start in a vacuum, right? The sources confirm we have two key projects bridging us from 2025 directly into this ramp-up. Exactly. They set the immediate context. You've got the animated series Marvel Zombies coming in October 2025.
Which gives us a taste of that multiversal horror.
Right. And then, just after that, the live-action series Wonder Man in December 2025. That one reinforces those more grounded, sort of Hollywood-adjacent characters.
So they give us the appetizer before the main course of 2026 really hits.
Precisely.
So let's focus on that Disney Plus streaming strategy for 2026 first. Because if you look at the schedule for the small screen, it tells a story of, well, maximum risk aversion. It feels less like Phase 6 innovation and more like, Phase 1 reinforcement.
I completely agree with that interpretation. Instead of rolling the dice on entirely new properties, the 2026 streaming slate is built almost entirely on proven hits on second season.
They're just shoring up the foundations of these sub-universes that they've already built.
That's where the structural work is happening.
And the clearest example of that has to be the return of the street-level heroes. We kick off March 2026 with Daredevil, Born Again.
Season 2.
Right, Season 2. But the detail that really stands out from the sources isn't just its return, but the long-term planning here.
Oh, for sure. What's so telling is that a Season 3 is already greenlit. It's tentatively slotted for 2027 or 2028.
Wow.
I mean, that signals a level of confidence we really haven't seen since the early days of their TV strategy. A multi-season commitment like that confirms that Daredevil and his whole corner of the universe are now considered absolutely vital.
So it's like they're replacing some of the original Avengers as the default, terrestrial foundation of the MCU.
That's a great way to put it. The street-level heroes aren't just a side project anymore. They are the necessary bedrock for everything else they plan to build on top of it.
They need to feel permanent.
Precisely. And fitting right into that theme, later in 2026, we get another key street-level project, The Punisher.
But this is what I found interesting. The sources list The Punisher specifically as a one-off 2026 TV special, not a full series commitment yet. So if Marvel is so committed to Daredevil's multi-season arc, why only a one-off for The Punisher? Isn't that playing it a little safe with such a popular character?
I don't think it's playing it safe so much as it's being surgical. A TV special is a perfect mechanism to reintroduce Frank Castle.
Okay.
You can integrate him cleanly into the post-born-again status quo, and then set him up for future appearances, maybe even in the big movies, without having to dedicate a full production schedule right now.
So it's a transition piece.
It's a transition piece, yeah. It's making sure the full street-level roster is ready for deployment right when they need it.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about utility right before the big battle. Okay, shifting gears to the animated wing, we see the exact same pattern of confirmation, but this time with the mutants.
Absolutely. The summer 2026 event is the, I think we can say, highly anticipated return of X-Men 97 for Season 2.
And here we go again.
And once again, they've already got Season 3 confirmed for 2027 or 2028. This isn't just fan service. This is Marvel using animation to quickly expand and normalize the existence of the X-Men in the whole multiverse saga ecosystem.
And it's not just mutants. After that, in fall 2026, we get Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2.
Which is a continuation of that animated prequel series. Yeah. The one set before Peter Parker gets drafted by Tony Stark.
And I'm guessing.
A third season is also planned. So you see this really robust pattern emerging, right? Daredevil S2 and S3, X-Men S2 and S3, Spider-Man S2 and S3. They are investing very heavily in specific established continuities on Disney Plus Sandal.
And then finally, anchoring the back half of the streaming year, we have Vision Quest.
Mm-hmm.
This TBD 2026 series is explicitly mentioned as tying directly back into the character and, the lore established during the WandaVision era stories.
It really feels like they're making sure all the foundational pieces from the previous phases are accounted for and updated before the cinematic action just forces everything to collide.
So the small screen is focused on establishing a defensive perimeter.
Yes, if we look at the Disney Plus side as a whole, it's a strategic effort to stabilize and expand these popular sub-universes. Daredevil, X-Men, Vision using sequels to build narrative trust. They're making sure you, the audience, are fully invested in the deep bench of heroes that aren't named Captain America or Thor.
That streaming lineup is a deep dive all by itself, but the cinematic slate for 2026, that's where the multiverse saga just hits critical mass.
For sure.
We have two colossal cinematic pillars defining this year, driving us straight into the conclusion. So if the streaming side is strengthening the foundation, let's look at the two seismic events on the big screen that are designed to make the whole house shake.
Starting mid-year, we get the huge summer event, the return of Peter Parker in his fourth MCU outing, Spider-Man, Brand New Day.
The date is locked, July 31st, 2026, and the director is Destin Daniel Cretton, with filming set for summer 2025. This is a massive mid-year anchor.
A huge one.
But the title itself, Brand New Day, that feels significant beyond just being a catchy name. Is there, comic book context there?
Oh, absolutely. Brand New Day is a massive reference. In the comics, that arc signaled a significant soft reboot, a total tonal shift for Spider-Man after a major world-altering event.
Which was One More Day.
In that case, yes, one more day. Now, the specifics here won't be identical, obviously, but using that title tells us this movie is intended to define the next era of Spider-Man. It's not just another adventure. It's a narrative palate cleanser.
So it's reestablishing him in this new, dangerous world right before the year-end mega crossover hits.
It's the highly anticipated event that prepares us mentally and narratively for the truly monumental film arriving just before Christmas.
Which is, of course, Avengers, Doomsday, December 18th, 2026. This is the film that was formerly known simply as Avengers 5. That title change alone, from just a number to a word like Doomsday, suggests something far more ominous.
The title change is deliberate, for sure. It's signaling the scope of the threat. But what's genuinely critical here is what the source material emphasizes about the enormous ensemble cast.
Right.
Doomsday isn't just ending 2026 on a cliffhanger. It's tasked with setting the immediate catastrophic stage for Secret Wars.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. The sources specifically call out the crucial inclusion of, and I'm quoting here, multiple X-Men like Gambit.
Like Gambit, yeah.
Integrated into the main ensemble for Doomsday.
And that's the detail that stops being a rumor and starts being hard strategy. It confirms the integration is finally happening, and it's happening right before the finale. The inclusion of an established character like Gambit suggests this film is the essential consolidation point.
Where all these disparate properties...
The street-level heroes, the animated characters, the space teams, they're all being forced into one military formation.
But wait a second, why Gambit? Why not Wolverine or Cyclops or a more, obvious leader? Is choosing a character like Gambit, who has a history of being a bit of a wild card, a way to test the integration without committing their heaviest hitters to the first big team up?
That's a really thoughtful point. It could be a narrative test case, but strategically, I think it ensures that when Doomsday lands, the audience sees a clear signal. The full multi-franchise roster is being assembled for the Avengers.
And Gambit is a cool, unique face to lead with.
He's an exciting, unique face that immediately escalates the stakes. He demonstrates the multi-reality nature of the threat the Avengers are about to face. It proves the scope of the disaster.
That makes perfect sense. So Doomsday takes us to the bitter end of 2026, forcing that full army to assemble. And if we look beyond that, the finish line for the multiverse saga is, it's firmly in sight. We have a clear view of the final countdown.
The conclusion is locked in. Avengers. Secret Wars is confirmed for December 17th, 2027.
Exactly 1 year after Doomsday.
Exactly 1 year. And that tight spacing, that just reinforces that the 2026 film is the definitive Phase 6 setup. It's a high-stakes, 1-2 cinematic punch delivered 12 months apart.
But what's also incredibly interesting, I think, is the list of projects that are officially acknowledged but are just sort of floating out there without a firm release date.
The TBDs.
Yeah, the TBDs. And these are massive films. Their delay reveals just as much about Marvel's priorities as the releases themselves.
Absolutely. We have 3 huge projects that are officially to be determined. First, the long gestating Blade project, still acknowledged, but completely undated.
Kill.
Then there's Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings 2. It's officially acknowledged as a sequel, but also no firm slot.
And then there's Armor Wars, which the sources confirm is definitely a future project and, critically, is now identified explicitly as a feature film.
Right, not the Disney Plus series it was once planned to be.
But again, no locked-in date for it either.
This raises a huge strategic question for Phase 6, doesn't it? Why is Marvel so aggressively filling 2026 with second seasons of these Disney Plus shows which offer narrative stability,
Right.
yet holding back highly anticipated cinematic sequels like Blade and Shang-Chi 2?
I hadn't thought about it that way. It suggests that the urgency is entirely focused on driving the main multiverse saga plot forward. They aren't investing time and resources and establishing new cinematic pillars that might not fully integrate into the Secret War structure right away.
I think that's the takeaway. They need stabilization on TV, but consolidation on film.
And the scheduling tells that story.
It tells a definitive story. A gigantic, sequel-heavy push in 2026 to bring every single narrative thread to a functional head. Then you have a strategic year-long gap for setup and promotion, and then the definitive finale in late 2027.
And the TBD films, they're crucial, but their absence from the immediate schedule just shows how accelerated and focused this 2026 to 2027 timeline has really become. What a density of content. I mean, when you look at that 2026 calendar, you have a minimum of 7 major releases, series, specials, movies, all strategically serving as the immediate ramp up to the 2027 finale. It's an overwhelming volume, but it's clearly designed with a singular purpose.
The pattern is unmistakable. 2026 is the year of calculated preparation. It's focused on building out and solidifying those established sub-universes like Daredevil and X-Men to ensure narrative stability, while simultaneously forcing the cinematic consolidation required for the final conflict with Avengers. Doomsday. Everything you watch in 2026 needs to be viewed through the lens of preparing for the war.
So what does this aggressive scheduling mean if you are tracking the multiverse saga? It means 2026 is required viewing, everything matters. And that July Spider-Man film, the soft reboot, and the December Doomsday, the full assembly, are the twin anchors holding the whole thing together.
It leaves us with a fascinating question to consider then as you track future announcements. Marvel is heavily leaning on confirmed second and third seasons for their Disney Plus shows to anchor 2026.
But major cinematic sequels like Blade and Shang-Chi 2 are currently listed as TVD future projects. So how does prioritizing the continuation of streaming lore over the immediate release of major new film sequels affect the pacing and themes of Phase 6? And maybe more specifically, what narrative gaps might that create in the ensemble lineup we expect to see in Secret Wars itself?